Any excuse is a good excuse to visit Siargao. So when the idea of doing our pilot episode there came up, I was the first one out the door. There's something special about this island. You can see it on the smiles on people's faces, like they know some great secret to life that you don't. It's a surfer's utopia. The original island culture mixes with foreign influence in such a close-knit way that it's almost impossible to decipher who you would consider a local. Siargao has a childlike innocence to it. The feeling is that as long as there are good friends and good waves, then everything will be fine. But as most surfers know, winds change, tides shift, and even the best set of waves has to come to an end. Sitting on the eastern seaboard of the Philippines, Siargao used to be relatively unknown, except to the surfing community, for whom it is Mecca. The sleepy town of General Luna caught the attention of wave hunters in the 90s, when Western surfers explored the island's breaks and discovered the barreling waves of a surf spot now widely known as Cloud 9. The island was soon put on the grid as a premier surfing destination when it landed on the cover of US magazine Surfer. Kailan yung lumabas yung cover ng surfing magazine?
Early 90s.
Yan yung tatlong Australiano na pumunta, di ba?
Oo, sila Taylor Knox, sila Evan Slater, si Chris Malloy.
Walang local surfer no?
Wala pa. Tatlo pa lang yung parang na-influence ng surf talaga.
Sino nagturo sa'yo mag-surf? Ikaw lang? Naghiram ka lang ng board?
Hiram lang ng mga board doon.
Bata ka pa nun, high school ka, di ba?
High school graduate pa lang.
So salamat sa kanila, nagpapahiram na...
Ay, talaga.
Nasubukan nyo.
Doon ako natuto.
Wilmar has been here since the beginning. Born and raised on the island, he was one of the first local surfers to defy the barreling waves of Cloud 9. Although still as elusive as when I first met him 8 years ago, his island boy good looks and laid-back vibe have made Wilmar the unofficial face of Siargao. When he's not out catching waves, Wilmar works as a surf instructor here at Harana Surf Resort. Mahirap i-define yung surf culture dito kasi bawat bansa rin iba yung kultura ng surfers, di ba? So ano para sa yung nagkakaiba sa surf culture sa Siargao?
Pagkakaiba dito, palakaibigan talaga yung mga surfer dito. Bilikan ka, minsan ituturo sa'yo yung magandang spot.
Dito kasi yung contact ng turista, kahit local man or foreign, parang iba rin yung interaction kasi sa tingin mo,
nag-surfer ka, iba yung respeto rin. Hirap yung yung sa surf pa lang matagal na ako natuto nun Hanggang ngayon, nagpa-practice pa rin ako So, yun, may respetuhan sa bawat isa talaga.
Tsaka kayo mismo, di ba? So, mahirap makahanap ng ganyang kabait na surfers na kahit kakikilala mo lang, kape tayo.
Mga ganun na rin. Palaging smile lang palagi. Malaking area namin. Diba? Punta ka lang doon, punta ka dito, libre lang, walang bayad. Tsaka, relax lang.
When we began talking to people about doing a Siargao story, the one thing we would always hear, yep, you better go now before it changes. Everyone is either talking about it, blogging about it, planning trips to it, or of course, putting up the next great resort, restaurant, or hotel. There hasn't been this much excitement about a destination since, well, the other island we don't need to mention. And we all know how that ended up. That's why I'm here. I want to talk to the people who call this place home, find out what makes this place so magical, what draws people here, and what keeps them here. Johnny, I've known you for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Where are we?
We are in Kermit Resort, my resort.
Which is yours, yeah. And this is
Yes,
your
this is my
your
pizza,
recipe.
my food. Yes, my
Wow.
recipe. Yes.
Wow.
We are eating pizzas. One pizza with Parma ham and mushroom.
And we're sitting with
Eloy, one of my first friends in Siargao. I know him for how many years? Maybe since 2000. 8. It brought me island hopping.
Island hopping tour guide.
Yes, like a romantic island hopping, and then we become friends.
And this guy here to my right is the very famous
Marama.
Marama. Did you go island hopping also?
He was still a kid. How old you were? Like 10?
I think maybe 9.
Yeah, maybe
You were
9.
9 years old. So, how is it that you, an Italian who knows his pasta and his pizza, how did you move to Siargao? What brought you here? Other than Eloy's island hopping, romantic
Yeah, that
tour.
was I got a job in the Philippines as marine biologist. I didn't want anymore to stay in Europe. I came here, said okay, let's just buy a land. And I worked a bit before in Europe, so I have some money on the side. And I bought this land.
Where we're sitting now.
Where we're sitting now,
When,
yes.
when did you buy this?
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Nice.
The beginning of 2010, and I said, okay, let's do just a house. And so I have something to go on vacation. I started to do like 2 cottages, the one that now I renew. And people start to come, and I will start to cook like, nobody was cooking pasta at the time, or not. We had the restaurant in Italy and Switzerland, so tried to cooking, and things went well. Didn't expect it, so slowly I reinvest in other more rooms, bigger restaurant, then bought new lands around, and then without even realizing it,
Boom.
bam, I'm here.
I mean, you're talking about you investing in the land, you built cottages, but really, from what I understand, you've really invested in the people. And I'm pointing to these 2 guys here specifically. Yes.
From the beginning, everybody was like, no, you're not beachfront, blah, blah, it will not work. The thing is, make sure Kermit, what it is for the people. That's what I said, it's for Eloy, for Marama, all nice, local, they're living here, they really make the vibe, they really make what is Kermit now.
Is there a strict divide between local and foreign and Manileño and not?
For sure.
What's the dynamic of the group dynamics there now?
For me, like Eloy is a brother, Marama is like a son, whatever they need is. We build a very close relationship.
First time I met him, like Johnny is like he really helped me a lot, and since I started surfing, there's snowboards, like we been borrowing, and like sometimes I board like I surf with the broken boards, no fins, broken nose.
Yeah.
He helped me a lot, and his wife.
Whenever you talk to anybody who travels around the Philippines, they always say, "Ba't lang sasabi, why do you love the Philippines? Oh, the locals are so nice." But what makes Siargao different from Boracay, from Cebu?
I think
from
maybe
Palawan?
the best is the vibes and also the attitude of the local here. They have more respect. They're most respectful to whoever comes to our island.
Here, when they do something like, let's say, let's go to the sunset, let's go see the sunset in the hills, let's go do that, it's not because they want something out of it. It's just because they're enjoying doing it, because they want that the people coming, they have a good experience. It's not about money, it's not about those things. For me, I actually have much more friends as local than foreigner. I don't have actually friends as foreigner. No.
You're an honorary Filipino.
Yeah,
Right?
I got the residence lately.
You're an Italian from Siargao.
Yes, let's say that. Little Italy.
Little Italy.
No, I don't feel like even to be Italian. I would change passport actually if I could.
Eat, sleep, surf, repeat. Surfing is not a sport, it's a religion, and the residents of Siargao are fanatical about it. Their choice of neighborhood, their daily schedule, and even their choice of occupation all revolve around surfing. We've had several interviews that have had to be cut short because the waves were particularly nice that day. I myself am not a surfer, so I don't get to enjoy the bond with a lot of the locals. But I have been able to go out to the water to photograph them and learn from them. They accept me, and every time I come back, it's like meeting old friends. I wonder if Siargao's magic is here to stay. Is that wave powerful enough to retain Siargao's charm? The Philippines is an archipelago of more than 7,000 islands, each ripe with its own potential for tourism. But sometimes I think that we very quickly forget that it's the natural resources that people come here to enjoy. The white sand beaches, clear waters, and unspoiled destinations. And that with growth, progress, and development, these natural resources are also put under a lot of pressure. Siargao is no exception. You know, your work with the NGOs here, helping out with the paperwork and the proposal, it exposes you to certain statistics and numbers. What's the growth rate of Siargao? Do you have any figures about that?
It was 625% growth rate from 2012 to 2016. In 5 years, it jumped from 4,400 to 42,000.
that 625% growth has allowed for more businesses to open, has allowed for more local surf instructors to find work, right?
Yeah.
Or teaching surf. But what are the consequences there?
Consequences is more trash. It gets crowded. Cloud9 draws like a certain crowd. Siargao is becoming more known. It's drawing a different kind of crowd.
Who don't necessarily share that sort of automatic environmental concern that all surfers do. You'll never catch a surfer throwing a plastic bottle in the ocean, right?
Right, you don't want to hit your head on a plastic bottle or even worse, right? You can liken it to inviting somebody in your house. How do you quantify tourism growth? So let's say you have a 2-floor house with 4 bedrooms and each bedroom can have let's just say 3 people. So it can only carry 12 people comfortably with the trash, where it's not too noisy, with the water.
Everything.
With everything.
So you don't want to over-invite all your relatives and have everybody crammed into the house.
Yeah,
is
because
basically what you're saying.
you might not notice, if there was a fire or something, if there's one fire exit or if there's none, right?
That's it, you're done. Tourism's positive effects are not exclusive to surf instructors and resort owners. They also trickle down to small communities like fishermen and vendors. People are happy because they don't have to leave the country or go to Manila to earn a living. Progress is a good thing. It is essential for society to evolve, but at what cost? When does it become too much? When do the scales start to tip in the wrong direction?
Doon galing ako ng Indonesia last year lang. Doon ako nagising. Kasi sobrang daming basura doon. Kasi yung mga bahay doon dikit-dikit eh. Sobrang daming tao.
So parang nakikita mo na parang Siargao in 10 years time, diba? Kung wala kayong gawin.
10 years, sabi ko, ha? Parang nag-umpisa na nga yung yung Siargao. Marami na sasakyan. Dati walang sasakyan. Ngayon, daming motor. Mayroon ng mga malalaking truck. Nawala na yung island style.
This is the side of tourism that nobody likes to talk about. Where there are tourists, there is trash. The lack of proper solid waste management and disposal is the biggest challenge to the conservation of Siargao's resources. So Wilmar, itong daan na to sa likod ng beach, di ba?
Oo, kabilang daanan.
Ano itong nakikita natin sa kaliwa?
Ito yung siyempre yung mga basura galing ng big restaurant, resort, tindahan.
Tsaka mahilig tayong magpinoy sa plastic di ba? Bibili ka sa tindahan, may plastic, tapos ito
Oo.
plastic ulit.
Pag bumili ka ng kamatis, plastic. Pag bumili ka ng yung talong, plastic. Pag bumili ka ng bawat sa isang cellophane, maraming plastic.
Anong solusyon yan?
Solution lang talaga, yun. Iwasan na talaga paggamit ng mga plastic. Kung gusto niyo magbakasyon dito, huwag na kayo magdala ng itapon niyo lang eh. Pwedeng dalhin niyo pagbalik.
Uwi ninyo.
Palabas.
Tama.
Sa island.
Pero maganda rin na kung turista ka dumaan ka dito sa likod, makita mo.
Magandang bagong view to.
Bagong view.
Oo, bagong to.
Hindi, para kapag
tourist
nandun ka
spot.
sa beach,
oo,
isipin mo rin, kung magbasura ako, dito rin tatambak yan So,
pwede rin.
son of former Senator Robert Barbers, Nino is a member of one of Siargao's more influential families. He has the charm and smile of someone born to be in politics. Nino is also a surfer, dropping everything at a moment's notice when the waves pick up. This balance gives him a unique perspective on the future of the island. Wilmar, and he took us to the dump site, which is where most of the trash ends up. That's a problem.
Big problem. Actually, yeah. Number one problem right now in the island. Siargao is overpopulated. As we all know, Siargao is very popular in the Philippines and all over the world. So the more people coming in Siargao, the more garbage is coming in also.
But that's just part of it. It's inevitable. No? I think the responsibility falls now in what you do with the garbage.
Yep. So what we do as resort owners, we try to educate also our people to segregate biodegradable and degradable waste materials. But the problem right now is we don't have a proper dump site to dump all the garbage. Yeah. Well, honestly, you really cannot stop development. There's no way you can stop that. But it boils down to the local government unit. Without the help of the LGU, the community will not move forward.
That's my only
And
say
that
about
needs to happen.
Yeah, it
It's a
has to
critical
be.
point.
It is a very, very critical point. The LGU and the community itself needs to help each other. Without that, cannot move forward. So in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, this will be the make or break.
Where do you see it going 10 years from now? When your daughter grows up, when she's 12 and surfing, and where do you want it to go?
I think still here. If it's developing well, still here.
What do you mean by developing well?
Develop on the right way, like keep the island, try to keep the vibe of the island as it is as now. People, they only see Siargao as a business opportunity, but they don't embrace the lifestyle. That will change everything. Soon, what is going to happen is people, they just bought a lot of lands, building up a resort with 50 rooms. They put their manager, their management. They don't care what's going to happen here. The important is when they check the bank, they're going to check the statement for their accountant that they make money out of it. And it's difficult to stop that one, but they should make a wise development who, like for business, choose who can come or not.
Siargao's magic isn't immutable. There's always a price to paradise. I wonder how long those who call Siargao home will be able to protect this idyllic slice of heaven. Every morning, when Cloud9's swells start to subside, groups of children start to gather together at the boardwalk for a more important activity. While it seems like Siargao is on its way to becoming the next polluted paradise, it possesses something that other tourist destinations didn't have at the peak of their development. A growing community of residents, business owners, and concerned visitors who work together to protect the island. So how long have you been on the island?
2 years, but I've been coming here for 11 years now. The main issue that Sea Movement is trying to address is solid waste management because that's what's the most evident. Of course, the water is affected also, but we don't see it yet. The faster tourism develops, then the bigger the problem gets in managing the waste problem.
For me, it's actually quite nice to see that even at this early stage, because let's face it, Siargao is still at the early stage of development, maybe midway now at this point. But that there is this awareness, because there are other tourism sites around the Philippines where they woke up and it was too late.
Yes, I think it's a good thing because it's more contained. Like we can contain the problem more. And although the NGOs here are not as big yet because we're still starting, because of social media and internet, we can get a lot of attention.
The power is magnified,
Yes,
right? The message
and
is
then
magnified.
we attract a lot of people who are interested to help.
I guess one of the main advantages you have here is that the reason people to come to Siargao is to be in the ocean.
Yeah.
And almost everybody here is a surfer or has contact with the ocean.
Or wants to surf.
Yeah, is it correct to say that if you surf, it's almost automatic that you want to keep things clean?
Yes, the interest is there, but not really automatically you'll do something about it. That's why it's good to start something, initiate an action, and then just do it consistently until everyone is on board.
And there is that possibility, maybe, that Siargao can be a truly sort of green island, as an example for everyone. Do you think that could happen?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm optimistic about it. We have to believe that it's going to happen.
For my last night, I got together for a drink and final chat with Pia, Nino, and Johnny. Wilmar, in true form, was absent, probably doing what he loves most. I wanted to hear from them their thoughts on the future of Siargao. All eyes are on Siargao now to see what you, the community leaders and the resort owners and the NGOs do, because it could set an example for other places, other LGUs, other communities that are thinking to expand tourism. What kind of example do you want to set?
Siargao, we want to keep Siargao as it is right now, as it is. I mean, I told you yesterday that you cannot stop development, but you can restrict a lot of things. By restricting a lot of things, you can preserve a lot of things. As resort owners, the STOA, and the NGOs, we all have one vision for the island. It's just to be like this. We don't want to develop anything, like buildings, commercial centers, stuff like that.
We have to strengthen or help strengthen the local pride and like keep ancestry here too, you know, because there's a lot of like land here and it seems like there's a lot of land grabbing right now and they're losing their their ancestral land. And if we lose our ancestral land, it's
You lose your identity. You lose who you are.
as Filipinos.
Just want to add on something B is saying. People are selling properties here. The locals are selling land. Why? Because they don't have money. Once you don't have money, you don't have food on the table, sell your land.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now for the past 2 years. But if they have jobs, that's what we're doing is we're getting people from General Luna to work in the resorts, and we're telling them don't sell your lands, just look for a job.
Well, eventually you'd want the locals themselves to be able to put up their own small resorts and operate it themselves on their own land,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
And then
their own business.
Yes.
Then the continuity is long. Then it's for generations. What kind of island will Siargao be 10 years from now? What do you hope it will be 10 years from now?
Hope or what we think? It's a difficult decision.
You answer think, you answer hope. What do you think? Realistically.
What I think sometimes people they don't really learn from their mistake, and I hope for the best, but I'm not really sure that it will be. Also because I don't want to move. I'm happy that to grow my daughter here.
I hope also that like if I have grandkids here that they would like to stay. If I have kids here that they would like to stay. It would be that kind of place that is still paradise. As like residents here now, we have to plant those seeds.
You're all talking actually as neighbors. Everything you're saying is about community and commitment and the future. Let's keep things together. It's community members who are talking, not resort owners, resort developers, or surfer. It's hey, I think the proof that Siargao is magical is that you all want to grow old here, have kids here, come back for you. It's not I want to make my money and I'm gone.
No, we're not exploiting the island. We want to stay here, have a good life here.
Yeah. I haven't heard that at all from anybody we've spoken. Everybody says, I want to stay here and I want to grow old here.
The island itself, personally, Siargao is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's nice to live here. People are nice here. Money is not an issue. But the opportunity giving to other people, sharing what you have, that's the best thing that you could do for your community.
We are living in Siargao. We are busy sometimes, but we can surf every day. But already living here and staying here is already, we are really grateful for that. So we try to preserve our lifestyle, preserve the lifestyle of everybody around us, of our kids or whoever coming here. That's our main concern. It's not we think about let's exploit it and we're going vacation somewhere else. We don't care. We want to stay here.
Okay, with that, let's do a cheers for Wilmar, who's been very talkative.
Wilmar, you can talk
cheers.
now.
Yeah, he's been very, very quiet. Thank you so much
Cheers.
for showing me your island once again. I've been lucky enough as a photographer to travel to different destinations around the Philippines. And as a photographer and a filmmaker, you see a lot of things that you wish you could change. I end up hiding a lot of things in my photographs. To be honest, a lot of our key destinations in the country have a dark side, whether it be trash, lack of water, social inequality, it's all there. You just choose not to show it because you're working for the travel industry. You're selling a fantasy. In Siargao, you don't have to do that. Yes, there are problems, yes, there are issues, but you see the community working hard to solve it. There's definitely something coming, a huge wave in the horizon, gaining momentum and barreling towards this tiny island. And as any surfer will tell you, that can be both exhilarating and frightening. The people I've met on this trip, however, have made me optimistic. There's an inexplicable bond among those who live here, brought together by their shared love and respect of the ocean. It's that bond that makes them fiercely protective of their home, doing all that it takes to preserve it. It may be a while before I make it back to Siargao, and in that time, I am sure there will be a lot of changes. New resorts, new hotels, new neighborhoods, new roads. My hope is that I'll see all these changes, look through it all, and still recognize my old friend smiling back at me.